It's kind of fuzzy. I guess it's okay. Should I try to wipe the?
No.
No. Doesn't it look fuzzy to you?
Is that your context? Because it looks pretty high definition to me. I guess we're underway, being recorded here.
Oh,
For everyone to listen to. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Funday, and we are going to get some good stuff accomplished. To get started today, we're going to come to the front part of our mats. We're going to take our heels and turn them out toward the edges of the mat so our toes angle inward, and we're going to bring the knees nice and straight. I have hands over heart to start. I'm going to start with that position by simply taking a little gentle push of the palms together. And as I do so, I'm going to ask you to continue to work to straighten the legs, row the spine, and imagine a string at the top of the head, pulling it straight up and out through to the sky. With this in mind now, I'm going to ask you to draw your hips backward ever so slightly, trying to keep those legs nice and straight. With this forward lean, I like to be proud of the chest. And then as you maintain that gentle push of the palms together, I'd like you to roll the fingers inwardly and raise the elbows up. Try to keep the palms together. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, stand tall, push your hands to the sky, step your toes straight forward. As your fingers separate widely, use them to pull the arms and shoulders high into the sky. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, fold it all the way down. Enjoy this for a couple breaths. As you inhale, extend to a flat back. As you exhale, fold. And continue to inhale and extend and fold for a few more repetitions. Let's hold the extension. And then imagine you have a string on the back top part of the head, pulling forward and upward, almost like you're drawing your chin in towards the neck itself. And while you keep that activation with the back, I'd like you to crowd the chest, draw the hips backwards, straighten the legs as best you can. And so a little bit of vibrato, vibration in the hammies, that's fine. We're still warming up. We're going to get some blood flow into those muscles. We begin to vascularize the muscles. We're using them. We're going to lengthen them out. So enjoy it for a couple seconds. On your next release of breath, let the upper body pull down. Inhale, extend. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. With your fingertips upon the earth, lower the palms to the ground, step back into plank. I'm going to step my hands back onto the mat. I'm going to keep my palms forward of the shoulders. I'm going to bring some elbow rotation internally so we have a nice long arm, not bent to the elbow. With the feet about hip width apart, I'd like you to rock backwards as you draw the heels, push them towards the earth, and eventually begin to pull your butt up to the sky. As we slowly transition into down dog, I'd like you to fill the lungs with air, come up onto the tippy toes, drive the heels to the earth, slowly up, slowly down. Enjoy the movements. When you're ready, drift it back to plank. And then now let's lower the knees to the earth and reposition the hands and the knees as we step out to the edges of the mat with them. We're going to take our fingers and turn them in so they end towards the center line of the mat. And then we're going to lower up and down through the chest. Now, although the fingers are rotating the center line of the mat, I like you to spiral the elbows inwardly and then raise and lower the chest up and down for the arms. As we begin to floss some of the nervous system, open and vascularize some blood flow into those muscles in and around the shoulders. I'd like you to take the chest proud, hold down, take the back of the head, pull it to the sky, and take your tailbone and rotate it upwardly. Hold on this for a couple seconds. While you holding this now, like you pull your belly up and into the spine. And then let's reverse this, let's tuck under, rotating this up and into the tummy area, letting the head descend towards the earth. And then maintaining the elbow spiral inwardly and drift back to the hips. And as we drift back, enjoy a nice stretch way down into the low back area, up into the middle back, you may feel it also. Let's float it back, step the fingers aim straight forward, and let's begin to cat and cow. So head lowers, feel the tucks under, and then the rotation backward where we flip the tailbone and back ahead to the sky. Push high through the arms. So we're kind of articulating the torso in and between the arms, up and down, as we flex and extend the spinal column. Lots of movement going on. All right, now we're going to begin to float this a little bit. Flex the spine, float back, extend the spine, float forward. Flex and back, extend and forward. And do it one at a time. Move on this. Keep your toes tucked under. Lift the hips upwards. Down dog it. Dog on it. Walk the hands back towards your feet. Find an equal weight distribution, front to back. Float and get that distribution of weight. I have my feet to the edges of the mat. Let's do the same. Let's take your toes and step them towards the center line. To inhale now, extend. Keep the back in extension and snap back those knees ever so slowly, and then grip the hips backwards as you walk your fingertips forward. As you release the next breath, before you fill the lungs, proud of the chest and inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, extend. Proud of the chest, inhale. Exhale, fold. Do that one more time. Extend, inhale, proud. Exhale, fold. Step the feet straight forward. Walk the hands forward. Slowly snap those knees back as you create a balance towards the heel of the foot. You fill the lungs with air, and exhale it, lift upper body, just relax down. Bring hand to opposite elbow, and float around for a couple breaths. Let's step the palms onto the thighs. Push and extend the spine as we unfold. We unhinge this. Come up to standing. Let the arms sweep all the way up. And salute Mr. Sunshine. Pull high. Powerful exhale. Relax the arms. Shake it out. Stand it all up. Come to the center part of the mats. We're going to keep the feet about hip width apart as we step the right foot forward and the left foot back into our lunge position. We maintain that separation, church and state. That's an old but good if you went back there. Now, the ball of each big toe on the back front foot. I'd like you to make sure you feel there's a little inward push on that particular area. As we bring hands over heart, I'd like you to take the right knee and straighten it. Great. Now, from here, we're going to make sure the left leg is nice and straight too. Now, the movement here is very simple. We have a slight forward lean. We're going to simply bend to the front knee. And as we bend to the front knee, the knee pushes forward, of course. And I'd like you to take the left heel and drive it down towards the earth. And as we straighten, we're going to come up under the toes. The back foot and the front leg goes straight. So let's do that a few more times. Down and up. Remember, heel pumping down. Knee pushing forward, slight forward lean, spine in extension. Enjoy the warmth. Hopefully you're feeling in your glute and also your quadriceps. And as hold it up, step your back foot forward, switch up sides, keep the separation, church stay equal. And straighten up that front leg, high on the toes, ball of each big toe. Making that connection point and begin the exercise. Down and up. And enjoy the repetitions while I remain silent. Oops.
That's impossible.
That's impossible. All right. On the next rep, step the back foot forward, keep hands over hearts, and bring the feet to the edges of the mat with the toes turning in ever so slightly. We hold on this now. I like you to take a inward rotation of sorts. So I like to try to take the toes and try to spiral them inwardly. And again, it's just isometric. We're not moving them. We're just bringing that inward thigh activation. We hold on this. Make sure your legs are straight as you pull the hips backwards. Make sure the legs are straight as you stand tall. And just oscillate forward and back slowly. And as we go forward, explore the range of motion. See if you can get down a little lower while you maintain that internal rotation of the legs, lowering and raising. Keep the spinal column long. Try not to get into this and flex just to get lower. This is more of an exercise for the legs, inner thigh muscle, maybe vibrating, good stuff. You're achieving that. And it's a work in progress if you're not, but keep trying. Another repetition down, another repetition up, relax it, step those legs together, shake them up. Great job. Now, are you sounding over there? Stop that. All right, now, hands over heart. We're going to take the heels, step them out to the edges of the mat with the toes off the mat, aiming away from the center line. And here we go, sumo style. Squat it down and raise it up. Just slowly down and slowly up. Now, the range of motion down is what I'm going to ask you to explore. See if you can garner a little more depth. As you make movement too, make sure you've got good tracking, knees, aiming toes. You can take a little look at it if you'd like to do that. And get the lowest point and come all the way down. We're going to pull down. I'm going to see if we can come down just a little more and then a little deeper. And if you're already maxed out, hold on that. And if you're not, come with me. Try to get down just a little lower. Proud up the chest. Heads looking forward. And stand back tall. And step it up. Great job. Now, bring the feet a little wider than hip width apart. Sweep those arms up to the sky. Grab your right wrist with your left hand, and then pull that to the sky as you push the right hip to the side. So try to get that arm long. Imagine the length growing through the arm as you help assist the length by pulling with that left arm. And go back up center. Switch up sides, pull, lengthen, and push to the side. Do a nice lateral side body stretch. Take another breath. Just release it, come back center, relax the arms. Great job. Now, I'm going to come to the back part of the mat. Olympic time, I'm going to do big tumble, Simone Biles landing, joking, of course, a little bit of Olympic breaths. For all of us there, we're going to bring our hands onto our hips with our feet nice and wide. Now, I'm going to hold on this for 1 second. And as we hold on this for a second, we're going to drop the right ear to the right shoulder. Back center, do the same thing with the left ear. And then just side to side. Try not to close the gap between the two by raising the shoulder. This is simply both sides of the neck growing long. One, of course, growing longer than the other as we basically warm up. All right, now hold at center. take your right foot, step it all the way out to the edge of the mat forward. So we have big space and width from side to side of the feet. I'm going to take that left heel and walk it down to the earth. I'm going to take the left leg and straighten it. And we're going to take the left hip and we'll rotate it forward. We're going to bring hands over hearts. And the right leg, I'd like you to take the knee and let it push forward. And to begin to open, you should feel a nice pull to the middle muscles. Try to make sure you're not seeing a lot of side translation of the cat. Try to push forward straight with the same plane, aiming directly towards the toes, and then slowly from the ball of the big toe on that right foot, push down and extend the legs straight. And then descend it again. Keep the ball of the big toe on the mat and slowly push up. And we're going to add a little variance the next time down. So we're going to keep that connection of the ball of the big toe, but I'd like you to try to transfer the push back to the heel. Try to get weight there and push back up. And then lower down ball of toe, knee pushes forward. And then push from the heel, come back up. Avoid the translation best you can. One more rep, down. And up. Great job. Take the back foot, step it forward. Widen it out, step it back. Drop the heel. Now, if you're not feeling significant stretch, you can separate the legs a little farther apart front to back, but keep the width as best you can. So, here we go. Lowering down, pushing back up. Ball of toe is all we're focused on right now, right? Ball of toe down, and up. Tracking, length, all in check, right? Just checking in on that. Back legs nice and straight. Now we add our little variation in. Ball of toe on the way down. Heel pushes on the way back up. And continue as we rep it out. Make sure you're not losing side to side. Try to keep the plane straight forward. Almost there. On the next rep, we're going to come all the way up, step the back foot forward, and good morning again, everybody. Now, hands over heart. We're going to take our toes slight inward. That's it, just a slight inward rotation. We take the heels and try to externally rotate this time. So try to rotate outward as we hold on that. I'd like you to straighten out the legs. With the connection of the ball of the big toe on both feet, I'd like you to draw back the hips and keep the spine long and really lean into the spine. Now, if you've gone below halfway down, I'd like you to raise up a little bit just to pull that nice spinal column. And earlier today, we were practicing pelvic rotation. You know, when we're doing cat and cow, I like you to imagine the pubis is pulling up and in towards the spinal column as you crowd out the chest and as you keep the heels rotating externally. Proud chest, hands heart, heels rotating, stand tall, push the hips forward, and draw back. And let's do this for a few more repetitions. Halfway down, all the way up, or as much of the way down as you can get. Try to keep the external rotation active with the whole range of motion. That's both down and up. Pelvic tucking, right? We've got that little pubal pull towards the navel through the whole range of motion. Very important. We're going to do one more rep. And as we stand tall, shake out the legs, sweep your hands to the sky, build the lungs with air, exhale at power plate, and take it down to the mat. Good morning. All right. I'm out of work today. Hopefully you're feeling it. Now I'm going to come to the left side of my mat as we get into the 90 and 90. We're going to go there. Now, This is something that can be done with block, so people that have hip mobility issues may need some assistance with this. So you could sit on something like a towel or a block, it might help with some of these exercises and provide a method to do them. And if your legs don't look like mine on your mat, fine. We're gonna help to get most of us there, just simply by coming down on the forearm, that angle in, reducing the angle in the hip makes this more achievable. So we're going to hold here for a couple of seconds as we take the right arm out to the side of the body. Going to have the palm aiming forward, fingers separated widely. And I'm going to draw up my thumb and pull it to the sky and then cross the center line. And I'm going to really kind of try to pull along with the fingers that whole arm section. And I'm going to open the right shoulder up and away from the front part of the body. And then I'm going to sweep it back down. Let the palm touch to the ground. Arm is long and extended. Keep having it back if you want to. Now, same thing. I'm going to take my baby finger, roll up onto it, separate the fingers, pull with the thumb, raise the arm all the way up, open the shoulder as I continue to pull that arm long and sweep it backwards. And then lower back down. And then one more time, rotate open, lift, 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 pull. And when I say backwards, it's really across the body. Keep the arm long and give as much opening of that right shoulder as you can. And as you lower down, come back up onto both hands, all of them. Both hands. We're going to bring both hands out in front. Now, as we shift forward, as we hip hinge on this left hip, we're going to be also working the right side. And I'd like you to try to do that by keeping the shoulders square as best you can and walking the hands forward with the shoulders kept square. And you feel a nice pull to that left side. How low can you go? All dependent upon body mobility here. So know where your body is, honor it, and try to get as much from it as possible without overdoing it. We don't have to be in any particular spot. All right, let's walk it back up, all the way back up. And post the hand, pull here, post the right hand side, round out the chest, and try to push that right hip forward. Enjoy that nice little pull with that right hip now. And then relax that, step the hands back forward, walk them out. Keep the spine long as best you can. Try not to flex and try to get a little more depth if it's there. And just work on it. Take some deep breaths. Let the oxygen help the muscle and mind relax. Then walk it back up and in. Posting the hands just like before, raising proud chest and rotating with that right hip. Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. Are you getting that? No? Hopefully you are. Maybe it's just me, I gotta tighten this. All right, one more time. Step it forward, walk it out, lower it down, hang out for a couple breaths and enjoy. And as we walk back in, post both hands, rotate that right hip, enjoy. Nice proud chest, nice long spine, and a nice little pull. Post that right hip. And then relax that. And then switch up sides. Again, locked up, toweled on top of whatever's best for your body today. Both legs down. And just having a senior moment. All right, so that's all. Sorry, both hands out in front. Now, most important, yes, we're going to square as we walk out. Hands with spine nice and long. Now, straighten out the arms. You're point of contact as best you can should be the palms walking straight forward, spine long. Gonna really change the emphasis of width is stretching here. I'll let you try to execute as best you can, given the condition of what's going on with your body today. Let's walk back in. Post both hands and rotate the left hip through. Now, you notice maybe that on one side, the pull is a little more significant than the other. Whatever. It's whatever. And then relax that hip as we walk the hands back forward, spine long. It's almost like you have a straight arm. I'm just going to walk you up with my fingertips for the support. And I lower down. Walk it back up. Post them, route it out, push forward with that left hip. And then relax that, walk it out, last repetition on this side. Walk it back in, post them, route it, rotate through. Try to make an active push to it, like when you try to make that push happen, that's when you get that big, oh. Feel that right in that left cheek, really. And then relax it. You forgot to sweep the arm? No, you didn't, forgot to sweep the arm. Let's come back, we'll add it in right now. I knew I forgot something. And as we come up, we're gonna have that right arm post tall. We're gonna take the left arm, we're gonna like rotate it down, palm open and sweep up. Pull, 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 pull. Lengthen, 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 lengthen. And then lower down. Actually, let's come down onto our forearm. Yes, there we go. Nice. Now, palm comes down, finger rolls up, 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 up. Open, open, open. Oh, there it is, folks. That's what I'm talking about. And then lower down. And then one more time. Rotate up. Oh, oh. Keep the arms straight, almost like your fingers are pulling it out of the socket, pulling the shoulder out of its socket. And as you lower down, back up to the seated position, sweep the legs over. And hello again. And I'm going to scooch forward, bring the heels to the corners of the mat. I'm going to rotate as I lie backward, I'm going to rotate my thighs and touch. Oh. I'm going to spend the rest of the class here. Does that work for everybody? Now, flex your feet. Keep those thighs rotating internally if they're touching or not. It's the emphasis of bringing them together that's important, that muscle activation. So give me your best effort, that best squeeze if they're together, and the best effort to rotate them inward to touch. That's what's available for you today. You're working hard to make that happen. Hollow out the belly, and then relax. And use the heels like a hinge and let the legs open up wide. Nice. Oh, we're playing footsie. Woo. It's like yoga porn. Come back together. Yeah, don't say that out loud. Keep the feet flexed. Rotate the thighs in towards each other. Squeeze them if they're there. Keep the internal rotation effort best you can. And then open back up slowly. If you want to count, it's like 4 counts open and 4 counts to close. We're going to do this a couple more times. Very important to keep the feet flexed and to squeeze together as best you can. Oh my goodness. And then slowly open up for our last setup to the last rep. And then bring them back together. And squeeze them as best you can.
and then relax it and step your feet so that the heels are close to your butts. We're gonna rock the pelvic as opposed to rock the calves bob, an old Clash song, of course. And I'd like you to roll up onto the tailbone. And then I'd like you to kind of roll the pelvic girdle backwards so you feel the low back skin connect. And then rock it forward slowly and rock it back. It's kind of like a rock and roll story. There's another musical inference there. Boy, just shut me up, right? And it'll just tune me up. Yeah. Now, hold with the low back skin on the mat. Take your heels, push them into the mat. Keep the low back skin. Now raise the toes. So the heel is the only connection point right now. Let's hold on that with feet about hip width apart. Bring the hands straight up over the chest and then reach the fingertips upward as we begin to flex the spine. I'd like you to pull the arms long, so we're not bending through the elbow. Like just imagine fingers are pulling the arms, the shoulder socket, everything to the sky, and then slowly, one vertebrae at a time, lower down. You notice that my heels are still the only connection point. I'd like you to push to the heels as you raise the upper body. You can say, I don't have much push to the heels. That's right. But I'd like you to keep the emphasis, keep those hammies working best you can. As you push heels, flex and raise up. You might feel a little warmth building in the tummy. That's fine. That's what we're working on right now. And on the next rep, hold up, reach high, try to pull a little higher, keep those arms straight, and then lower down, extend the legs all the way out. Let those hip flexors get a nice little stretch as you sweep the arms backwards. I'm going to interlock my fingers like I'm a diver, and I'm going to pull palms together with the arms nice and straight, and I'm going to use that interconnectivity of fingers to pull the arms and shoulders back and away, all the way down the tummy. Take the right leg, raise it into the air, all the way up, form a 90-degree with the hips, or your best version thereof. Keep the arms pulling long as we switch this for the opposite leg. Arms are pulling nice and long as we raise the leg. It's nice and straight. Give as much flexion as you can through the hip. Those hip flexors nice and active. You may notice that the low back skin is pulled up and off the mat. If you can, reset that. Try to rock it back as you lift the legs and try to keep it rocked back as you lower the legs and switch sides. So you're going to get a nice activation in the rectus abdominis as you try to keep that low back skin as close to the mat as possible. It may not actually get there, but it's very important to keep that muscle connectivity through the lower core. And then pull both legs up. Keep the hands connected. Reach up and try to push the hands between the feet, lower back down, and do that a couple more times. And we'll be done with our abs. And as we do so, let the legs relax as you let them extend all the way out. Take your hands behind your back and pull opposites, the feet and the hands, fingers and toes if you like that better. After you let the breath release, pull your knees up and into the chest. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees and rock it up to a seated position. As we come into seated, I'm going to go into a figure 4 of sorts, the number 4, formed with the legs, if you're into counting, or number shapes. And as we step the hands on opposite side of the leg, I'd like you to keep that right foot flexed and walk it down for a nice, long, posterior chain stretch. Posterior chain of the legs, that is. Maybe up and into the back too. Nice. Now, walk it back up. Switch up sides. 2 4s make an 8, right? All right, let's walk it back up. Sweep those legs around. Oh, come on to all fours in a low plank position with elbows a little wider than shoulder width. We're gonna keep the feet about hip width apart. And we're gonna just take a little look down and make sure your elbows are slightly forward of the shoulders. Now, some of us like to have them slightly inside. That works for your muscle strength. That's certainly an option. You want to kind of push them forward today, just to experiment a little. That'd be a good start. Now, right now we have a pubis connection to the mats. We have nice length for the upper body. I'd like you to take the back of the head and pull it towards the sky. And as you do so, I'd like you to engage that 6-pack muscle. So it's almost like you had a cannon aimed up through your belly, right through the bottom of your mat. And you want to protect that belly, engage that muscle, give it some strength, keep it as we take the toes and tuck them under. And if we lift the hips up off the mat, we come on to our 8-point plank. 2 hands, 2 elbows, 2 knees, and 2 feet. You do the math, you get to 8. And then slowly lower down, keeping the spine long. Now, we're going to add a little variation in this. I'd like you to flex the spine, the upper back, draw up the belly, and then draw the hips up. And you might feel intensification in this exercise. Lower back down, extend the spine, grow the neck and head, flex the spine, and elevate the hips. And lower back down, extend the spine, flex the spine up onto all 8. And continue to do this for a few more repetitions on a 4 or 5 counts, nice and slow. Let's hold it in the up position. Step your hands back underneath your shoulders. Draw your hips backwards into child's pose. All right, child's pose. Into quadruped or all fours. So we step hands slightly forward of the shoulders. I'd like you to rotate your elbows internally. I like to make sure you're not locked up. This is an active movement where you're rotating internally with those elbows. And then we're going to lower the chest down in between the arms. Pull the neck long. And then hollow out the belly. Flex the spine. As we keep the spinal flexion, make sure your toes are tucked under. And we're going to float the knees up off the earth. And then slowly lower them back down. And much like we do cat and cow, we're going to pull the back of the head and the tailbone, rotate it to the sky. Keep those elbows rotating internally. Let the chest push up through the arms. Lower the chest down into the arms. Flex the spine. Elevate the knees up off the earth. And lower down. And we got the movement pattern. Continue on to it for a few more repetitions. Really what we're doing is just kind of rehearsing and practicing what we want from good muscle behavior relative to spinal stabilization, flexion and extension of the spine, pelvic stability, kind of working it all at the same time here. All right, make the spine neutral. Walk the hands back, come up onto your knees, cushioning for the knees if you need it. Excuse me. Now,
Draw your shoulders up to the ears, open the palms to face forward, draw your elbows back, so we're bending the elbows. Palms are presenting forward. Separate the fingers nice and wide. Draw your little fingers in towards your hips, body, side body, whatever it is. Squeeze elbows together. Now, make sure your neck is tension free. Like, just gonna opening through the chest. Draw your elbows back a little more if you can. Squeeze your elbows a little more if you can. Good, now hold on this as you slowly lower the hips and flex through the hips and grow the spine long as you lean forward. Now, a lot of us may feel like we're gonna fall forward. I want you not to do that. It's not a good look. I could bruise your face. I fell forward. And come back up, sweep your hands to the sky, do that nice length. As you exhale, come back down onto all fours, and cat and cow. And move. Yeah, sound effects for movement. That's enough. John's having too much fun, and Kirsten is not enjoying it. All right. Pull the hips up to a shortened or abbreviated down dog. Drive your heels to the earth. So you keep the heels driving to the earth. Try to pull your tailbone to the sky. Push the knees backwards. Straighten for the arms. Relax that neck. And then walk your hands back towards your feet. And keep holding. Hands come to opposite elbow. Hang up. Inhale, sweep your arms to the sky. Oops. All right. Nice. Now I'm going to come back to the center part of the mat. Stand back there so we don't collide. Going to make our little T with our arms. Palms are going to face the earth initially. Going to separate the fingers and use them to pull everything off the center line of the body. Beautiful. Now, you're going to sweep the back of the hands up. And if you get them to touch, great. Try to keep the arms straight. So we're not bending through the elbow. Arms straight, and then sweep them all the way down. Change the hand position, open palm. So your thumbs are now aiming backwards. This one's going to seem a lot easier as we sweep up. Oh yeah, that's done. That's so normal. Now sweep it back down. And lift the palms. Whoops. And sweep them back up. So the backs are now coming together. And now the palms are going to come together. And do that 2 more times, 1 for each position. Next, now hold it down, shake it out. Enjoy the fact that you just exercise with the shoulders of yours. Let's step the feet out to the edges of the mat. Let's take both hands onto the right thigh and then slide them all the way down. Grab that right ankle. Now use the arms, bend through the elbows and try to use the arms to pull the upper body a little closer to the right leg. Make sure the right knee is pushing back. Try to get as much weight back into the heel of the foot as you grow the spine. Inhale. And as you exhale, slide those legs, slide the hands back up the legs, standing. Switch sides. Knee drives back. Slowly lower down. Grab that ankle. Assist with the stretch by pulling a little deeper. Breaking up any adhesion, not any, some of the adhesion. We'll get rid of all of it. Back up. Sweep the hands to the sky. Interlock. We'll go back to our side body stretch. Finish this up. Pull along the upper body. Push the hip to the side. Keep that right elbow straight. Arms are slightly in front. And then come back up. Opposite side. Grab it. Pull it. Push it to the side. Legs are straight. Back up. Palms come together, hands lower over hearts. As I stare lovingly into the camera to say thanks for joining us today, I really appreciate it. Hope you had a good Sunday. Namaste.
Namaste. High five.
High five. Oh, five. No five.